She meets a handsome man, they fall in love, you know, a hallmarky romance. The cover on this is hilariously cheesy. I just love romances, and I am not afraid to admit that. Hey everyone, my name is Sarah Marie, and welcome to or back to my channel. The fall weather and leaves have really been inspiring me lately, and I know it's kind of late to put this out, but I thought that I would talk about my fall TBR. So honestly, this list isn't super long, mainly because there's not much left of fall, and I am not a quick reader. So I thought I would just share with you guys the books that I hope I can read this fall. So the first book I'm going to start off with is Homebody by Rupi Kaur. Now, this book isn't really a fall book per se, but it is just a book that I'm excited to read. So from what I understand, this book is kind of about personal growth, and it touches on kind of like past traumas. And I just think I'm going to relate to this book a lot, so I'm definitely excited to read these poems. I love all of Rupi Kaur's writing, so I know I'm going to love this. So I'm definitely going to add this to the list. So the next book I plan on reading will definitely be a surprise to you guys because it's super popular, but I have not read it yet, and that is Verity by Colleen Hoover. I haven't read this yet, and I've read a whole bunch of Colleen Hoover's books, so I know that I'm going to love this just because I love Colleen Hoover's writing. But I also think this is like the perfect time to read this book because this book is more of a mystery thriller romance, so I definitely think that this will go well with spooky season. This book centers on a struggling writer who is hired to finish a popular series from another author who has been through this kind of tragedy. I'm not sure what that is yet, but the author's husband hires the main character to finish the series. In the process, the main character finds a manuscript for an autobiography. And in this manuscript, there's apparently a whole bunch of scandals, and this book kind of revolves around that process. And I think the romance is between the main character and the author's husband, but I'm not sure. But I'm definitely excited to read this book, and I am definitely adding it to my fall TBR. On a sweeter note, I am also planning on reading The Recipe Box by Viola Shipman. This book is supposed to be kind of like a hallmarky romance. It is about this big-time baker in New York City who decides to come home to her hometown in a small town in Michigan, and she ends up cooking through her family's recipe box. And in the process, she meets a handsome man, they fall in love, you know, a hallmarky romance. And I think that this will just be a good happy book for me to read. So I'm definitely excited for this one, and I think it'll perfectly fit the aesthetic of autumn. Now the next couple of books you'll probably recognize from a recent video I did. I ordered a curated mystery box from one of my local bookstores. Cutest bookstore ever, by the way. And the next three books are from that mystery box. So the first one from that box is Bait and Witch by Angela M. Sanders. This book centers on a librarian who's just found out that she has magical abilities, and there's also a killer on the loose. So I think this will be the perfect kind of cozy fall read. Now, of course, the next two books are romances because I just love romances, and I am not afraid to admit that. But this book is Not the Witch You Wed by April Asher. So from what I understand, this book has a fake dating trope, and it is about a wolf shifter and a witch who doesn't have her magic, and it's just the romance that builds between those two. This is a perfect rom-com for spooky season, and I honestly can't wait to read it. So the last book on my list is Sweet Revenge by Megan Pierce. The cover on this is hilariously cheesy, and I feel like that happens a lot with romance books, so I'm not going to judge it. But this one is a mafia romance, which is not something I've ever read before. And it also is an ex-husband and ex-wife who I think the romance builds between. So this one's definitely going to be different from me, but I'm excited to try it, and I'm definitely adding it to the list. So yeah, that is my entire fall TBR, and I'm sorry it's a little small. I'm not a very quick reader. But yeah, I can't wait to start reading these books, and thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If you enjoy my content, be sure to subscribe and like this video. I would appreciate that as well, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See you later. But yeah, I honestly don't know which one I'm the most excited to read. I definitely think I'm gonna get to reading Verity pretty soon because I know I love Colleen Hoover. But I think that the recipe box sounds so cute and just wholesome, and I think I might need that right now. So I have no idea where I'm going to start, but I definitely need to get started because it is already almost mid-October, so